Hello and welcome to another tech tip by VMNerd. Today's topic is installing the vCenter server appliance or VCSA 6.0. And with that, let's get started. Okay, so I've already downloaded the VMware VCSA software from the website. Okay, it's an ISO image, and we'll go ahead and we'll start by mounting the image. The first step we need to do is make sure that we have the VMware client integration plugin for your browser. In our case, our browser is going to be Internet Explorer, but when you go to install it, it'll actually go ahead and load all the stuff into Internet Explorer. So go ahead and do next. Okay, so that went ahead and completed our install. Okay, so the next step, once we get that loaded, we need to actually go back to the root of the mounted image and run the VCSA setup. Okay, and for us, it's going to take us right into Internet Explorer, and it's going to do its checks and all those wonderful things. So we need to go ahead and allow the plugin to run because your machine's asking for permission, and then we'll go ahead and proceed with the install. So let's do that. Okay. I accept the terms so that way you can proceed to the next step. Okay, so here's where we're actually going to need a fully qualified name or an IP address for our ESX host. So in our case, ours is going to be ESX01 demo.vmnerd.com, and the username is going to be root. And we'll go ahead and accept the untrusted certificate. We'll go ahead and put the fully qualified name. So in our case, it's going to be vc01.demo.vmnerd.com. And the password is whatever you want your password to be here. Okay. Go ahead and click next. And for this demonstration, we're just going to go ahead and do a standard with everything embedded. The other one would require us to set up a bunch of different things, so we'll go ahead and not do that. Go ahead and click next. We're going to go ahead and create a brand new SSO domain. And if you already have an existing one, I guess you can do that. But like I said, we're doing this all embedded local one server install. So whatever you want your top secret password to be. And hopefully I can type it in twice without messing it up, which I did. So I'm used to the traditional vSphere.local. So we'll go ahead and use that as well. And then for site, we're going to use vSphere. Next. Okay, next step is we're going to specify the size. In our case here, we have less than 10 hosts and 100 VMs, so we'll go ahead and select the tiny. But as far as options go, we have tiny, small, medium, and large. Obviously, depending on the number of hosts and VMs you're going to use, you should make sure you select the right one accordingly. Okay, so go ahead and click next. This is going to check what storage we have. We're going to go ahead and select our flash drives here because they tend to be a little faster. And then we'll go ahead and enable thin mode so that way it doesn't provision out 100% of what's used. So that way we save our SSD storage. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to use the Postgres SQL database, the embedded one. You can use Oracle, so it's definitely an option for those of you that have larger configurations. If you're doing a multi vCenter installation, you'll probably want to use an Oracle database. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is one thing that is kind of important. It would be good if you had your network established. So in my particular case, I'm just going to choose VM network. So if you have, if your ports are actually configured up in a trunk configuration, make sure you define your VLAN or whatever the tag that needs to be going into there, so that way the machines on your network, or when this thing actually goes through the configuration process, that it knows that communication can actually get in there. Okay, so in our case, we have a predefined IP of 192.168.30.15 and system name or IP address. So in this case, we're labeled ours VC01. vCenter.demo.vmnerd.com. Subnet mask is 255. It's Class C address. Our gateway is just like that, only with 254 at the extension there for DNS 1. And just to make sure we don't have no failures, we'll go ahead and synchronize the appliance time with the ESX host. Okay, just so that way it can get through the install successfully. Okay, let's go ahead and click next. I usually uncheck the join the VMware Customer Experience Improvement Program, and that's it. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while this actually happens, since this takes a while. So something else to note, I figured I'd mention this while we're going through this and waiting. You know, the way that this thing works, or the way that this deployment works, is you have to have communication to the ESX host as you're deploying the vSphere server. So in the event that you don't have that communication, or depending on how you're trying to deploy the vSphere appliance, if communication breaks or isn't properly working, like maybe you didn't define your DNS information ahead of time or things like that, this would have failed. And the fact that it's still proceeding and progressing through is great. So that's kind of what you want. All right, guys, and we are back. Okay, so it looks like our vCenter server appliance deployment was successful. So the first thing we'll do is let's go ahead and close out the install. Okay, so our server was called vc01.demo.vmnerd.com. Okay, click here, and we'll go ahead and log into the vSphere web client. Okay, all right, that went ahead and let us in. Okay, the next step we will do is go ahead and type in our administrator password at vsphere.local, because that's the one we set up. Okay. Whoops, forgot the L. And our top secret password that we used. And log in. And there we are. We are in. Okay. All right. Now there's nothing in here, but this is just how you get it installed. Okay. In one of our next videos, we will set up how to do configurations. I hope you enjoyed another VMNerd tech tip on installing the vCenter server appliance. Have a great day. Hey guys, don't forget to check out our VMNerd YouTube channel for more tech tips.